Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host Keith Weissite. Very glad you are joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. Very glad to have with me Chris Pulaski, Terrebonne Parish Planning and Zoning Director. Chris, thanks for sticking around. We appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you for having
There's
me.
been so many good things, and I can tell you one of those things. It's interesting, when you plan something, you're not really sure how it's going to come across, right? We're not really sure this. We planned this 200 bicentennial of really celebrating 200 years of Terrebonne Parish. A great deal of work by a lot of different people and volunteers, and thank you for heading that up. But who would have thought that that would have been so well received by the parish? And then the celebration itself, it was just outstanding.
Yeah, I think it couldn't have come at a better time.
We needed it.
We really did. After COVID and then certainly after the storm, we did have to push the kickoff date back a few
Right.
months just to get everything online. But it went off wonderfully. All of the committees and subcommittees did a great job with their presentations.
Really did.
The festival was a lot of fun. I think it's really an opportunity for us to celebrate life in Terrebonne Parish and really showcase our resiliency. And we are still working on the yearbook that summarizes all the goings on for that year. Puts it in for everybody to see, especially those who weren't able to make it. But it just captures all the presentations that went on throughout the year, and then of course there's a big spread on the festival day.
Right. And the capsule and all the really
The
cool
time
things.
capsule, the phone contest, all the groups that participated, the dancing.
Right.
It was just a great event.
Yeah, and celebrating our new gazebo that's up there.
Yeah.
Representing the so many years
Ribbon
in
cutting of a
history.
bandstand.
Right.
You name it.
Yeah. So really good stuff. And again, we talk about those things because these spring events are really, really starting to get ramped up. Terrebonne Parish has so much to offer, and there's something every week. In fact, there's some things, 2, 3, 4 different things on each weekend.
Yeah. The month of May is one of our busiest months, by the way. But we're in the festival season, as you call it, and then of course there's another one in the fall.
Right.
But we've had several events happen downtown over the past couple of months. A lot of them involve the bandstand at the courthouse square. We had Star Wars Day celebration on May 4th.
Right.
That event raised over $7,300 for the Ellender Memorial High School marching band. The previous year they had raised $800. So it was a big
Huge
step up.
jump. Yeah.
And next year, of course, it'll be on a Saturday. TFA just had their big event. There was another event on Friday night at the bandstand. We have weddings there. There's a lot going on downtown. Like you said, every weekend there's something. They had the Pirates in Boots.
Right.
They have the ongoing farmers market at the marina. They have the Blackberry Festival. I think it's on May 20th at Houma
underneath the
Heights
bridge,
Park on the east side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and will be throughout the year.
Yeah, really, really exciting things. We had some more of these crawfish ball offs. Vanderbilt had their thing. It was really cool. There's so many different things that are happening. And again, I'm glad you mentioned that. Ellender winning the battle of the bands, if you will. All the 4 bands that were out there. It was really cool. And so all of that, and so just all of these with TFA. At the Battle of the Bands with that. And so just all these really cool things happening and money's being raised, Wings for the Wind coming up on May 20th at the Canal Bar, going out to help those NICU families, like all of these really cool events that we get to celebrate right here in Terrebonne Parish every weekend.
Yeah. And it is great that most of the events are fundraisers, and so there's a benefactor every time. And it's just good to see that tradition continue. We have other, work that's happening. Of course, we have the Rotary Centennial Plaza.
Right.
Speaking of fundraising,
Right.
Rotary had raised, over $250,000 for that project. So hats off to them for that effort. Now, everyone will see beginning next week, I believe they're going to start installing the metal arches that span from those columns. Once those get installed, then they'll start coming in with the masonry work, and then finally they'll come in. One of the last things they do are the concrete pavers and sandblasting of those. But it is a very challenging site to work in. I can
Right.
definitely say that.
So
I mean,
confined, right, in
it's
that
confined.
area.
It's a tight space. I mean, all the surrounding buildings are most of them are 100 years or close to it.
Right.
The infrastructure is old, so they have to be very delicate about how they dig and all that. So that's one of the reasons why that project is taking a little longer than planned. I just found out yesterday that it's going to be the completion date is going to be more the end of June than the end of May, like we were once thinking.
Right.
But they just again have to be delicate about what they do down there. But it seems like the first time they started drilling one of the support piles for one of the brick columns, 23.5 feet down, they hit a cypress stump.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting
Yeah.
site to work in.
Right. And
But-
kind of who knew? But those businesses are still
Yep.
open, right?
That's right, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's certainly one of the things that we continue to promote. That everybody please keep in mind that those businesses are open. Downtown Joe open, Milano patio
open. Right.
Open, Lindsay Sinak's shop open, Leslie Terrebonne's shop open, and then Mahoney's is open. So.
Right.
We encourage everybody to go down and visit those stores and businesses and shop and give them their patronage. They really need it.
They do. Chris, we always appreciate your time, certainly, but thank you for the positive updates.
Sure.
That Terrebonne Parish has to offer. We appreciate that. And thanks for going purple today.
You're
It's a good thing. All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.